Have you ever heard of a peekaboo cup? Well, that's what this is. One cup inside another cup. And today we're going to do some planting of peekaboo cups. Some people could just call them a double cup system. Whatever you want to call it. Peekaboo is just more fun. We're going to plant 3 different tomato seeds. And then we are going to actually root some lemon trees. Now the reason why I'm doing in this size cups has a lot of soil in there is because these are actually going to go to Arizona. And I want them not to be able to I don't want to have to transplant them at all before they get sent to Arizona. And the system is a clear cup in any kind of other cup or container. It doesn't matter what color it is, just as long as the size, it will fit in there so that the roots are in darkness. Now we do want some drainage, so we are going to have to make some drainage in here. Now you can do it a couple different ways. You can just poke holes in the bottom or the sides, or both. Or you can just take your scissors and do a slice out of there. One on both sides. Now one thing you want to remember is when you put your soil in here, you want to have soil that is very light and fluffy, has perlite or vermiculite, something that is going to really make those little tiny roots be able to just go wherever they want to. And then that sits in here. And that way, when you water this part, it has drainage because you don't want it to not have drainage. We're going to start with the tomatoes first. Now the first 2 cups, we're going to use ones that I dried just in the month of September. The third one, we're actually going to use an atomic tomato. It had a little damage right here, so I figured I might as well save these seeds. And so these ones are actually going to be fresh tomato seeds, not rinsed. I'm just going to put them in there and plant them just like I am the other 2. Now the first one is a tomato from my brother that I have been growing for, 5-6 years, I'm not really sure. But it will make orange tomatoes that will fit in the palm of your hand. The next one is from my friend Di. And it was a small cherry-like tomato, only it was a little more grape-shaped, and it was pink. And so I put the name on the outside and the name on the inside. Why? That's because, say you've pulled them out, you're watering, and you're looking at the roots, I would hate to mix them up. Though eventually I would know. But these are going to Arizona, and I want to make sure they're exactly what they're supposed to be. So as you can see, these seeds have been all dried. And I had the video on how I dry them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to plant 3 in each one. So I'm going to set them on top, just in a triangle shape. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Oop. Those 2 are stuck together. Okay, there's 4 in that one. We're going to do the same over here. 1, 2, 3. Now I want all 3 of them to grow. I'm not going to pull one of them out. I'm going to send all 3 of them in each container to the Arizona. Now when it comes to this one, I always like to use a serrated knife. So I'm just going to slice that. See those beautiful colors? If this wouldn't have been damaged, it would have stayed out longer, and it would actually even get some oranges and yellows in there. See all those beautiful seeds? But even though I'm not rinsing them off, I am going to just put 3 of them in there. So I'm going to use my knife. There's 1. And the rest of these seeds, I'm going to do my fermentation on what I do with my tomatoes so that I can have more of these seeds, because I really love the taste of these. And I'm going to do that process, but I'm just going to set that tomato in there for right now. I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to push. I'm going to use the side of my knife. And I'm just going to push those seeds down a little bit. And I'm just going to lightly brush the seeds. Now, a thing to note, though you could have dry soil when it comes in, I like to already have moistened it. And I just set them in the sink. I ran water over them, let them sit for a little bit, ran water over them again, just let them drain so that everything was saturated. Now, another thing that you could do at this point, you could cover them with a plastic bag, or you could cover them with a cup, just so it makes a greenhouse effect. So let's move that so you can see there. And I'm actually going to set these on the ledge of my hydroponics, and I am going to use a cup that's upside down for these. I just want to have a lot of moisture in there, and in Wyoming, we're very dry. So once again, I'm just taking the side of my knife, and we're just going to press them in there. Just kind of brush that soil away from there. And as you can see, this soil is very light, fluffy. I didn't press it down at all. The water did some compaction to it, but I didn't press it down. And let's go one more. Oh, and look at there. It picked up more seeds. I'm just going to leave them. They already have dirt on them. I don't want to do anything to disturb them. Now that is a little bit of a hunk. I don't want that on top of my seeds. So I'm going to take that out. There's another seed right there. I'm going to press it with the side of my knife and just kind of cover it. And there's the last one. Now remember, these are already watered, so it has a lot of moisture in there. So then when I put a cup over top of them, it's just a greenhouse effect. Here's one that's been in longer. In fact, look at there. It's got a flower. Way too early for it to have a flower. But it's growing. There's a couple little spots where you can see some roots growing. And it just, I'll leave this in here till it's probably 6 or 8 inches tall. The leaves will get much bigger, and it will be a great little pepper. Now it's time to do the Meyer lemons. And this is from a lemon tree that I have potted that I move in and out. And so I just cut some of the branches. I like to cut a little bit below a node where a leaf was. And I also like to trim the leaves off so there's just half the leaf on each one. You have to have at least one leaf. 2 to 3 is excellent too. Just depends on where the leaves are when you go to trim it. Now I'm going to do this, though they're the same lemons. One, I'm going to use honey as a rooting hormone. This one, I'm going to use a regular root tone. There's all kinds of different brands that do that. So the lemons have been soaking in some water, just so I didn't want them to at all stress. And then I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to damage that a little bit, scoring it. And I want to make sure that I can bury at least 2 of these nodes. So I'm just going to take my marker and make a hole. And actually I'll make a hole for both of them right now. Let's plant them. So I have some of my honey. And I'm just going to take the back end of a spoon and just grab a little bit of that honey. Because honey is wonderful as a rooting hormone agent. Okay, so I'm going to tap that. I don't want it wet on there. And then I'm just going to rub that honey around there. See how I'm just covering that whole section. It's just a really great natural rooting hormone. So I'll put that down. We already have our hole. And we have to make sure those 2 nodes go down there. And then I'm going to form the soil around it. Now this is not the same soil as I used when I was doing my tomatoes. I like it a little more sandy or more perlite or vermiculite in there, just so those roots even have more that they can go around. Now this is the other one. And this, the bottom needs to be wet. And we're gonna put it in the rooting hormone. I'm gonna tap. See how you can see where I scraped that? And it's gonna go right in the hole. Remember, we have to have 2 nodes in there. And I don't wanna press it all the way to the bottom, but I do wanna get it a long ways in there. And then I just form that around there. Once again, you can make a little greenhouse. You can take and make that into a greenhouse. Totally up to you. I'm actually going to do that. I'm not using this one because I already demonstrated on that one. So I'll use 2 other clear cups. If you have party cups in your cupboard, you've had company or vacation, use those cups. You know, I really try not to use any plastic, but if you have them, you might as well use them. These are on the edge of my hydroponics. And my lettuce, these lettuces are about done, so I'm going to pull those out this week. And as you can see, there are cups on every single one of them, except for the pepper, but that's been growing for a while. And I'll just keep you posted as they start to sprout. And we can check the roots, and it'll be real interesting on which one is better, honey or rooting hormone. Well, tell me what you think. Do you think the honey will root those faster, or will the rooting hormone make that lemon grow faster? We'll see. Today's the 20th, and I'll give you an update on different videos when I'm doing them and just show you some quick peeks, because as they start to grow, the roots will get closer and closer to the sides of that clear plastic cup, and you'll be able to see them. But when it's sitting in the red cup, or whatever color cup you use, it will just be dark and exactly what that plant wants. Like, subscribe, share with the world. This is Sandy. I am Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming. Have a great day. Joe's working on the entryway. He's been laying laminate, and he's got this really decorative baseboard. And he's trying out these new tricks on how to cut them so that they're just perfect. I keep trying to convince him that I should video these things. But we're going to do the kitchen next. So maybe I can talk him into showing you that then. See you next time.